Miss Munoz, do you want to go today? Because kind of indisposed or no?
Yeah, sure. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. It took a little bit. Okay, so to give you a little summary of what happened last week, um, we're gonna start with what happened on Friday. So for the most part, there was a big sell-off, sort of medium sell-off with the Nasdaq down 2%. S&P also had a minor sell-off, 0.88%. And the Dow Jones kept up. It was the only positive index out of these three. There was a slight volatility, actually, sort of big volatility, about 4%. And the Russell 2K didn't do that much. For tomorrow, things are looking up, and that's kind of expected as a Monday. And because we had such a big sell-off, especially on the NASDAQ and the S&P. So I'm not surprised here. Hopefully it's a positive day for y'all and everybody trading. Okay, so let's get this party started. So this is gonna be a really big week, folks. I'm just gonna give you some tickers that are gonna be with earnings that are very importante, very important. One second, let me just pull the list up that I have here. Oh, did I not send it to the right person? Okay. So for Monday, we have Verizon before the open. Let's see. For after open, we have Cliffs, SAP. But so Monday's not that important. But the big one that's going to be important is going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So on Tuesday, we have UPS before the market, General Electric, PepsiCo. We also have Tesla on the after the close. We have Visa. So that's for Tuesday. The big one to look for on Tuesday is Tesla. So all eyes on the Tesla. Wednesday, in the morning, we got Boeing. So that's something that a lot of people are going to keep their eyes on. Boeing has been, kicked around a lot. How much can you hit the dead horse? We also got AT&T on Wednesday before the market. Boston Scientific as well. And after the close, we got Meta, IBM, Ford, and Chipotle. Thursday is the big one. We have, before the open, we got Royal Caribbean, American Airlines, Caterpillar. And the after close, we got the Softy, Microsoft, Alphabet, Google, Intel, Roku, and T-Mobile. And then Friday, we got ExxonMobil, Chevron, and that's about it. So keep your eye on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week, especially for the Teslas and Metas of the world. Okay, so let's see what happened last week. So the winners, based on this list here, it looked like Walgreens, Bank of America, and EBC. So the banks were strong. So let's take a look at Bank of America. And EBC. Sorry here. I don't know why this is weekly. So you can see, based on this chart, the last couple of weeks, months, and days, banks have been really strong. It had a really great week, great day on Friday. It, it had a downturn, but that didn't seem to matter. Now things are picking back up, and the banks, you know, going back to that, maybe this top right here, which is around 38.50 or so. Let's look at EBC. So again, it had a really terrific day. Again, I'm still not convinced about this price range. I would like it around here, 11.50 or so or lower. And the trend still is not convincing me either that things are going up in terms of EBC. For Bank of America, that's another story, but at least for now, I'm not really convinced that EBC is
When is
gonna
the earnings?
earnings for EBC. Uh, they had a January 25th. So let's see. April 25th. So in 4 days. So let's see what happens. Okay, we can skip Taco. BJ's we can skip. Let's look at XOM. Also, XOM had a good day compared to the other tech area. So it was, as we had said, the Dow Jones had a better day than the Nasdaq. So you're gonna see this throughout the map. So here you can see we have bypassed this triple top. It went it surpassed it, went down, but it's picking back up. Will it get back here? With the turmoil and geopolitical things that are going on, I don't see why not. And you can see based on what happened on Friday that is gonna continue on that trend, especially tomorrow. So we'll see. We can put that on the notes for people who are interested going long for XOM. American Airlines. I'm going to see if it goes back down to this 1397 or so, to this line of demarcation that we had here. I have a few shares, just 5. I put in 100. Maybe I'll put more. But I think it'll get there. Maybe 1397. Once it gets to 1397, if it goes even below, I'll get more. Yeah, I don't see why not. And it's going to have earnings in the next couple of days. It's above this area that we like. And yeah, I feel good about American. I like it. So we'll see what happens. And if JetBlue does well, then that's kind of will give you an insight of how American Airlines is going to do. We'll skip AZO, but if you have the loop for that, I would recommend you get jumping on that. AZO, 2,900 bills. If you got it like that, I don't see why not. Okay, so Walmart is starting to break down. It closed above the 50, so it could turn around still, but it's trending down based on these two mountains. But we'll see what happens. Retail has been getting hit a little bit, especially you will see Dickies, Nike is turning back around a little bit, but yeah, maybe this thing is a little bit heavy, and it's time for those people to maybe get some money, but it might turn around a little bit tomorrow again, like I said. Okay, McDonald's, M to the C to the D. So yes, so now it's picking back up. Like I had said, it was bouncing here. It could continue to go back up here too. Summer starting, people are going to get their McDonald's. I would still get it below 270 though. It's 270, 170, maybe on a down day. Try to see if you can get it here between 267, just a few shares to test it. It does move about $3 a day. So, once it gets going, you can make a few pesos on this. It does, this area is a really good area of support. So see if you can try to get it below 270 if you want to test the waters. Havana was positive. Okay, so let's look at the losers now, because there were many. the losers of the dia. Okay, anybody who has NVIDIA and is going short, it's good for you. That's all I can say. It went almost 10.5% on Friday. And as you can see, now I'm convinced that it could get to this level of support here potentially. It'll probably pick up some tomorrow. It's clearly below the 50. It still has a ways to go to this 200 level, so you got to be careful. But if we go back in history, this is the only level here that sort of has some support, but not really. Then here, there's a little bit mountaintop. The real area of support here is 500. It has to drop about $200 for this to get down here. Could it get there? I don't know. That's what that's what time will tell. But it was very dramatic on Friday. Is the chip AI narrative over? I'm not sure yet. Um, maybe it will, but maybe we'll, stay a little bit here in this 700 area frame. And maybe that's a buying opportunity. That's what you have to kind of continue to observe and watch the news to see what's going on with these chippity chips. Netflix had a bad day, I think 2 days in a row, because of earnings, but the earnings wasn't even that bad. It was just them bringing it down. You can see it was 60, almost 17% earnings, and they even had more like subscribers and stuff based on what I heard on the news. And look, at revenue is really good. So this was just some sell off because of things were going down on Friday, and also they decided. So because of this gap down, I think it's going to fill this gap and maybe potentially get down here, because that's what happens when it does this. If it has a gap up or a gap down, usually it tries, unless here, see, after this earnings, it had, yeah, like here, it had a gap up and then it went up. I had another gap up, then it went up. Now it's a gap down, it's going to go down, hopefully, if that's the pattern. Let's see if there was another pattern maybe here where it gap down. Yeah, so here it gap down, it went down a little bit and then it started to pick up. It's a good company, so it's going to gap down a little bit. Maybe we'll fill this gap, 500, buy it back again here at this level. This is a clear level of demarcation that we had put here. Is if it gets to 500, I don't see why you wouldn't buy it. So that's that. AMD, again, is sympathy play with NVIDIA. It's starting to get down here, really. So I think it could be a potential goodbye as well here, but we'll see, because this one's getting near to 200. So maybe at this 200 level, you could do a little dip. Obviously, we would like to get it at 100, but if it doesn't get there, maybe this 130 level might be a good one, to take a look at. But so far, every single day, it has been stepping downward. But it does have to pivot at some point too, because if they're continuing with the AI narrative, then yeah, let's see if it gets down here. This might be a good level or a good area to kind of maybe dip your toe in for those AMD and for those chip buyers. If you don't want to get, NVIDIA, that is like 2 times or 3 times as expensive, you may want to dip on AMD. Meta. Okay, so Meta it closed below the 50 period. It's going down, but that's because of the the back of the market pulling it down. Want to see if it fills this gap. I don't know if it will fill it. It will all depend on how it does on earnings. If earnings are not great, or they decide, hey, like Netflix, that they want to bring it down, then this is a good opportunity for you to fill this gap and maybe get it at 400. Okay, so just be on the lookout, because obviously it likes to do a little trend where it does ranges for a while. It's doing this range, but if you can get it back here, then maybe this is where you want to buy it, because it could stay like this for a while. It stayed like this for months, from August to, I would even say, the end of February, and then it had earnings and then it broke up out. So, if it does a breakdown, there you go. That's your buying opportunity. Because this thing is not going to go anywhere. People are still going to gossip and they do social media. And all of the people, all the marketing folks are going to use Meta to entice users to get their nonsense. Roku, want to keep an eye on this, is going to have earnings. This thing has been beat down. Could it get beat down even more? This is a potential level of breakdown here. It's been telling you that it's about to break down. So I think this one should be put on the notes for even a worse earnings. It broke it's still negative. So I think this one's a good one for a breakdown, flat bottom breakdown. So we'll put that on the notes because I think that one is in the next 3 days or so. Amazon, again, close to 3%. Very similar to the other folks, but again, not completely convinced. It had good earnings. And if they want to bring it down, they'll bring it down. But again, keep an eye on it if it goes down and fills this gap, because again, you may want to consider purchasing a few shares. And if it gets back down to this level, hey, that's where you want to dip, then dip. Rivian. This one, you also may want to keep a close eye on it, because if Tesla breaks down, then this is going to break down even more. And if you can get 1,000 shares of this on the day that Tesla breaks down or breaks up, then you will do good. So just keep an eye on Rivian for you and see what happens. Intel, again, sympathy play. We had indicated in the past that, oh, $40. Hey, if you didn't buy it at $40, good for you. Now it's 34. It's below that $40 mark. Let's look at it. Let me look at it even at a weekly. I like a little bit more consolidation. So here's sort of, let's look at even more. So it's in this level of support. It broke it over here. It's closer to here. Would you consider this a good buying? Well, if you look further here, that's probably the area 30, Let's see what happens. It's actually broke the 50, actually broke the 200. So this could potentially go even further down if the other chips go down. So if you're thinking of buying this, maybe see if it will test 30 tomorrow, or at least stay around here, because it moves about almost for 3.5 a day. So, if it gets down to 30 in this week alone, yeah, might as well just see if it gets to 25. Macy's also had a little rough day. It's getting to this area where if we said it was a buy, we also like it down here. We missed the boat. There's an area over here as well of support, but that's cray. But maybe here, when it really starts going. But we also have this area that it had, that we had marked, where it had touched it many times, where it was an area of support and resistance. It's getting there. If it touches tomorrow, it moves about 66 cents a day. Okay, so actually moving back to Intel, it doesn't move above $4 at 380. It moves, let's see, $1.26 a day. So yeah, it might take a couple of days to see if it gets to 30. All right. DraftKings 4074. Here's your test lead. So already broke this line. Every day has been stepping down. Earnings not as expected, but they're still making money. Earnings not as expected, but still making money. These last two earnings weren't great. Will it do the same thing here? That's the question. So we'll see, because they were trying to save some money, where they had a 20% layoff cost of employees. So this could turn around, like it could do well on earnings because they're trying to cut costs. So just be careful because they already surpassed this level here. Let's see if we're the next area of support. Okay, so it's this area right here, 144, 141, 136 or so. It's getting near there. It's already here, sort of. So then this area. We want to see if it gets down here. I think that's the good buying opportunity for the Tesla aficionado, because then other than that, uh, it didn't do like what happened. This was COVID, so it's already past COVID levels. Uh, this is the only area of support. Then here, and then it would go back to how it was back in the day. So this is where you kind of want to see how low will it go based on the earnings, or will it go up? Just keep that in mind. Gonna skip Wayfair. All eyes on the EVs. Google also has earnings next 4 days. I think this will do good. In all honesty, I don't see why this would be doing bad. And then I think these if Amazon, Google, and Meta and Softy do well, then it will pick up the market. If 2 or 3 of them break down, then it's going to be a breakdown. Again, watch out and see if this is what we want to see. How low will it go if it goes down? How will it go? Will it continue to go up? Make sure if it does do a down dramatic, pick it up and get some at some point. But yeah, we have marked here 141 or so, a good buying level for Google. Softy, yeah, it's breaking down, but again, not entirely convinced 100%. We'll see how it does on April 25th. If it gets down here, then buy it. Buy it, because even if it, like I said, I'm not too skeptical on these. These are really good companies, and that's when you should buy them, when they go down. Now, Apple has been beating up, and it's gone cray cray. But it's still a good company. I'm down on this, but I believe in it. We have said that, if it breaks this level, then it doesn't have another level. But we'll see. We'll see if it gets to that 150 or so and turns around. We'll see. Nikete. Okay, it's been picking up. If it goes below, let's say 93 or so, or even if it gets to, if it gets to around 90, just also be careful, because then it could start continuing going down. But the last couple of days, a week or so, it has been picking up, but it's still below the 50, below the 200. But this one is we always say, if you can get it around a 90, it always does a little turnaround. And we saw that here, and it's just repeating history, but except it did it lower, exactly right here. If you got it around 90, then you were following history, and we didn't. So let's see will it get to this high? I'm not sure, but maybe you'll get to here. And or maybe, it will fill this gap, that's for sure, before it goes down. Piton, I had this when it was like $8. I should have just kept it, but I didn't. It has hit the all-time lows. If for some crazy reason it does a pop-up to even 350 or 4, that's when you need to get this. Because unfortunately, this is going to get to $1 at some point. It's done. It's cooked. Okay. Open. This report's in 11 days, and still losing money. They did better than expected. It might get to $2 this week. It moves about 17 cents per day, and it's already at 214. It could do a little pick me up tomorrow, but then maybe at the end of the week it will get to $2 if you want to jump on that. But I wouldn't, unless you really want to write it down. I don't blame you either. Caro, I guess it didn't really like this 126, 130 area. But we shall see. It has earnings soon in 12 days. Will it break down? It could. We were hoping for a pop-up, but it could break down also. This is the ultimate level that it could probably get below $100 or so. It could do a pick me up. We'll see. It had decent earnings because they made money, but revenue wasn't as great. But summer's coming, so it could, sky, it could do a little pick me up, pop up, maybe we can get it around here 140. That would be great. Boeing is starting to do a little hiccup, but again, this thing has not done well. We would like it again at this area. Maybe even this area if it gets down here. Let's see if it breaks down from this area of 163. And if it does, then just wait for that 120 price range. Dollar Tree is still on hard to buy. And if you had it at some point, you could still have been writing it down. It likes this area. It likes to sit in this area a lot. So I think it will get down here. It's still on hard buy. Dix going down up. So it's about to fill the gap, maybe 2 more days going down. And it's going to get below that 50 period line. And that's it, folks. That's all I have. Maybe for the notes, I think the notes we had XOM, and also anything that was dramatically down might do a little pick me up tomorrow. So especially NVDA might do a little pick. Roku we had. NVDA might do a little pick me up just because it was trashed on Friday. The darling of the show can't be trashed too much. It is the what do you call it? The prom queen. The prom queen has to come back a little bit and show face. So maybe this will pick up. Also AMD, even Netflix. So, but time will tell, and we shall see. That's all I got. I hope you guys have a successful day tomorrow and the rest of your week. And hit the like, hit the subscribe, tell your friends, amigos, coworkers, and like I said, hope you learned something or not. And take care.